It's Tuesday. It's Free to Talk TV. This is my new little song I've just come up with now. What do you think? How's that?
Not as good as the original. Like, did.
Hello, and welcome. I'm back after a little holiday. I'm browner on this side than I am on this side. Obviously, when I'm driving the car, I did it proper like driver. White van man driver. That's it. Van man. Yeah. It's too many things to say. Anyway, welcome to Free to Talk TV. AO is on hiatus today. He's having a little break, but he'll be back with us next week. But basically, I'm not needed anymore because you lot just did it, without me. Yeah, I'm no longer the star or the centre of attention. Or Richard. So Richard, what we're going to do is me and you, we're going to form just like GB News have formed their own Fox News right-wing news channel. Me and Rich are going to do the same and form our own Free to Talk TV, but we won't be right-wing or racist. How does that sound?
So basically speaking, you'll be covering fake news.
Not insinuating that Free to Talk TV is right-wing or racist anyway. I should point that out.
But if you do that, if you do go full on Fox News, aren't you just going to be doing a lot of fake news?
Yes, it will be just fake news, but still me rant. Well, I suppose. I mean, a lot of the things I rant about, it could be argued that it's fake anyway because I'm obviously a loony lefty.
Opinionated news.
It's not news; they're opinions. Anyway, welcome back to Free to Talk TV. If you are watching, please give us a like. Please give us a comment. We're going to be talking about Freedom Day, that was yesterday, and a few other bits and pieces about that, and mask wearing and vaccinations and all that kind of stuff. Get everyone's opinions on that, and also touch about those two really rich people going to space. And as I said earlier, made everyone laugh, and I did use a bit of a swear at the time. I was like, I wish they'd stay there. Richard Branson, right? I've got to point this out before we go into it. Richard Branson spent all that money to go into space, right? And in the pandemic, he asked the government for money for furlough because otherwise he was going to fold his company. And he's just spent all that money to go into space. Mind blowing. Anyway, right, let's go around on this very, very hot day. Richard, how are you? What have you been up to?
Doing all right. Just chilling, trying not to die in this hot weather.
You did have a towel earlier as well.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I saw your wife.
It's literally on my lap. It's like 100 degrees in my room.
I bet it's. I'm on the fourth floor. Fourth floor flat, and it's boiling. Owen, how are you?
I'm not too bad. Just having to get on with finding jobs and stuff. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah, you have been applying for jobs. Did we ever look at your CV together? Is that something we should do? I can give you a hand.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea to have a quick check.
Boom. Over. There you go. You've heard it on Free to Talk TV here. We help CVs too. But you have obviously applied for your dream job. Would you like to let everyone know what your dream job is?
So my dream job actually is to be an actor, but then again,
dream job right now.
Dream job right now. So it's unconfirmed yet because I haven't heard anything back yet. But I've applied for a job in MK at the Lego store.
Oh,
yeah, he loves his Lego.
So I've taken my problem a little bit too far.
Good afternoon, Loz. Thanks for the beep the other day. Lawrence actually said there's a job fair tomorrow at the Saints. That might be worth getting down for, actually, Owen. I'll send it if you got the link on Facebook, Loz, or anything. I'll pass it on, or you can put it in the chat. That'd be wicked. I love it. Right, Charlotte, what have you been doing other than taking my place as the leader of Free to Talk TV?
You've been doing very well as a leader.
So it wasn't anything crazy.
No. I did tune in for a little bit, but I did I got a little bit told off when I started watching by my girlfriend. She's like, "You're meant to be on holiday."
You weren't having to do anything, were you?
Sorry. Just like watching stuff. You post it up on my profile. Thank you so much, Lawrence. That's great. So you just been doing your uni work and stuff?
Yeah, uni work, prep for my dissertation.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff.
That's fine. And Lawrence has just said she didn't advertise, James. I'm telling, lol. That's because she didn't put it through my personal Facebook profile. She put it through all the work ones and actually did the right thing there, rather than people thinking, what is James doing? Why is it going through there? Right. So what I've been up to is, as I said, been on holiday, been very brown, and it is very, very hot. Like extremely hot. Yesterday, I'm sure my eyeballs were sweating. But I have found something that I think is definitely the way forward, because this heat wave is carrying on, and I definitely know a few people that probably would want to do this after I show you this. There we go.
Yes.
That is what you do in this weather. So yeah, it's all good. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Freedom Day as of yesterday, where you don't have to wear a mask. You do have to wear a mask. You don't have to socially distance. You do have to socially distance, because I think there's a few things here that we should go over. But I want to go through each of you, and you tell us all, like, that's just one thing that you think has changed as of yesterday. Charlotte, go. One thing that's changed as of yesterday.
To be honest, I haven't really been outside. Apart from my garden. But I noticed a lot. Some of my friends went to nightclubs and stuff last night, so obviously that's one. I'm not having to wear masks and stuff as much. Like social distancing in pubs and stuff is sort of reduced. I haven't experienced a lot, but just general stuff like that. Yeah.
Owen, what about you?
I haven't really noticed much from what I've seen, because I see a lot of people still wearing masks as they still go into places. I personally are still going to be wearing a mask as it is anyway. But the one thing I did know from someone on my Snapchat is that nightclubs, they require you to have both vaccinations.
Yes.
Is that from the end of September?
So
is it end of September or was it yesterday?
I think so, because a lot of my friends went out last night and they definitely aren't double vaxxed.
Yikes!
What was he saying? Just to interrupt, was lost. But after 16 months, I don't like people, so I will stay away from each other anyway.
Stay here, Lawrence. Stay here, man.
You know what? I mean, I think there's a lot of people like that. So I've said this before, but a really good friend of mine, when the pandemic first hit, yes, it was really bad, but he absolutely loved it because people kept away from him, because he doesn't like people. He's got an extended personal space, shall we say, and he doesn't like people coming close, which is fine. Richard, what things as you know that if it's changed or not, or
nothing much. Haven't been outside. I've seen the park literally across the road from me get packed yesterday with so many people. Probably because of the heat, but there were loads of people.
Also, haven't some of the schools finished? They've shut off early because of cases and whatnot, haven't they?
Yeah, I know the secondary school that I went to, they shut a few days early just because there were so many cases.
Yeah, because there are a few schools that are meant to be going till tomorrow, so that might be why, or it might be the fish event, Food in School Holidays, that's run by Spencer Bridge, or not Spencer Bridge, Western Favel Food Bank, maybe. So it could be that. Or they just all wanted to gather outside your window, Richard, and annoy you.
And annoy you and just start tweeting for you.
Oh, they were allowed. They were allowed.
Loz, I'm not going to put that other comment up that you've put, but you've asked, how have your youngsters coped? Social media is your generation, so are you all fine? There you go. Richard, you've shook your head. You answer first.
Ever since the football, social media just went.
Yeah. After football, yeah.
Literally, after the 3 penalties, I was like, I'm going to stay off the internet for a bit.
Just because of the football. I think Lawrence meant in a general way with the pandemic, not just the football. But you're on a social media hiatus.
It's still trash.
Yeah, still trash.
Trash.
Owen?
Just how he says it. Trash. For me, social media wise, I have social media anxiety. So when it comes to talking or taking the first step to talk to people, that's not usually what I do. So I usually just wait until people talk to me, because then I know they want to talk to me. So it's been a little bit on and off of people saying hello or not. So currently at this moment, I have only had one person talk to me today, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. I would like a few other people that I knew, but they've got busy stuff happening, so they have a life. I have a life as well, so
yeah.
So social media for me really hasn't been much of a difference since the pandemic started. I'll just admit that.
That's fine. And Charlotte?
I'd say it's probably helped to a certain extent, like keeping in contact with friends and family, you know, like FaceTime, you know, all that stuff. But I think at the end of the day, you know, everyone wants to meet up face to face, and they have done from the start, you know, and not being able to do it, especially in the nice weather and things, it hasn't really been that beneficial. You know, I think we probably don't take it for granted as much now because we kind of realise how important it is. But I think at the same time, you know, everyone wants like to see people face to face rather than on a screen.
Yeah. I mean, Lawrence, I'm going to come to your next point in a bit. I mean, I think there's a big presumption with like people like, say, my age, me and Loz and older, that obviously, well, you're always on your phones, you're always on social media. I mean, you'll be fine. I think it's a presumption that's not true, really, in a lot of cases. I mean, just because you utilize these tools from a phone or whatever doesn't mean you're on it all the time or actually like it.
And as well, you know, there's issues that come off it with like bullying and things like that, you know, that aren't always that positive. So yeah, it's not always a great thing.
I think there's a lot of presumptions made there. I mean, I think with the young people as well, Loz, just to answer your question, when the pandemic first kicked in, we had huge difficulties transferring our kind of youth work online, because the actual reality was that the young people who came to our youth clubs didn't want to do it online. They wanted to get out of the house. That was the whole point of them coming to the sessions. But also a lack of devices, so they can't actually get online anyway, or internet even. You know, they don't have these things, Lawrence. But your other question. So Lawrence is going back to uni in September, so that'll be his first experience of face to face. And he says he finds the youngers are nice and respectful. The elders don't respect distancing. I think. Do you know what? I think that is true.
I would agree with that as well.
I've had more issues with older people like my age and above than I have with anyone younger than me. I mean, I've been abused in the park when I've been walking down a busy street with my mask on initially at the first pandemic, and someone's, you know, get it off, and I'm like, you get your trousers off, mate, fuck off. Whoopsie, sorry, I do apologise. I got a bit too into it then. I've had a break. We'll bleep that out. Beep beep.
You have to edit this, and then you have to edit this now, and then post it on YouTube.
Yes, I might have to re-edit it.
Do that.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of older people because they're so stuck in their ways, they just won't change, and there's so much misinformation, and that misinformation has mainly come through Facebook and Twitter, and generally it's people my age and older that use those two forms of social media. It's easier. I mean, they've been most kind of inundated with should we say conspiracy theories and stuff like that from QAnon and right wing and far left, all that kind of stuff, and it's aimed at people like me, not young people, because you know, TikTok, I mean, obviously there is stuff on TikTok, but TikTok is about little videos. It's a bit more difficult to kind of go vaccines cause this and that on TikTok than it is actually on a post on Facebook. But there we go. Right, so I mean, Freedom Day yesterday, we don't have to wear a mask, we do have to wear it. But there is something that concerned me. I'm just going to share my screen. So a friend of mine on Facebook actually posted this, and I've edited it down. So the BBC today have posted two separate articles, one saying you don't have to self-isolate if pinged by the app, and one saying self-isolation when pinged is crucial. I mean, obviously there's like 22 minutes between them. Right.
Which one?
Yes, the one that's saying you don't have to self-isolate when pinged. That came first. And then 22 minutes later, breaking note number 10 have said no, it's not required. So, I mean, you've got to be aware that this first one, right, definitely came from the government, and then the BBC have reported it, and then the government have backturned yet again. They backturned so much, it's like a spinning top, on a merry-go-round, going really, really fast. So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, you guys probably wouldn't be looking at the news for live updates today, but do you think this is on, like the government doing all these kind of back turns with something like this?
No.
Who wants to dive in first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it.
I just think, if you're gonna, people look for the government and these government reports and things to be like official, and they stick with them for like official advice and things like that, and if they're saying two completely different things in the space of like a day with each other, it just doesn't put a lot of trust in them, really. I feel like they're not a very reliable source if they keep doing this sort of thing.
Sorry to interrupt, but did you mean trust in the BBC or trust in the government?
Both, I guess.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're blaming the BBC for the government's back turn. Excellent.
Yeah.
Poor BBC. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. I just think if they're, because obviously they're working together, the news and the government and things like that. I just think you can't post two completely opposing things and then expect people to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Because they literally couldn't be more different. One's saying you don't need to isolate, and one's saying it's crucial to. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense, and especially as there's a lot of misinformation out there anyway, and people tend to look at the wrong things. It's just confusing as to what should be followed and what shouldn't. Like from that, I wouldn't have a clue what to actually do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Lawrence has brought up the government fence seems to be a mighty comfy place to sit on. They've fallen off it more times than Humpty Dumpty. Very true, Loz. Very true. I mean, I think it's no wonder, right, with this type of mismanagement of information, you don't need conspiracy theories to come in.
No.
because it's so badly... Yeah, it's so badly dealt with by the government. I mean, it's been a complete comedy of errors as far as I'm concerned.
From start to finish, it's been awful.
Yeah, but people still support Boris, and I'm like, oh my god!
It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
It doesn't at all. I think, but I think you're right, Charlotte. It really puts it gives issues to the BBC. But I think I wanted to ask you, like, whether you thought it was the BBC or the government. You've said both, right?
Yeah.
But this is why also there's so many people saying the BBC doesn't report appropriately for them, and is biased. Now the thing is about that biasness is I've had people on the left say it's biased to the right, and people on the right say it's biased on the left, which to me and a friend of mine, we've had this conversation before. We're like, well, surely that means it's non-biased.
Yeah.
maybe it's doing its job, but perhaps. But obviously, the BBC can only report on information that's given to them by the government. So you have the situation where within 22 minutes. Within 22 minutes, the government has changed its mind. I mean, I've got to talk about the app though, because the app has been criticised for pinging inappropriately. So after the holiday, when I was on holiday with the girlfriend and her mum, right? So we signed into all the places with NHS track and trace. Yeah, anywhere we went, like for even if we were sitting outside, for a coffee or something like that on the beach, you pinged it. So when we got back, it was Sunday, I believe, that my girlfriend's mum got a ping from NHS track and trace saying that you've come into contact with someone that has now reported symptoms. You need to isolate. But myself and my girlfriend didn't get it, even though we'd all been the same places. Yeah. And there's been criticism of this ping thing because it seems to ping like around it like a sonar. Do you know what I mean? So it goes bing, and then it could be someone next door in their next door neighbour's house who's actually got it and pinged through the wall. Yeah. Which for me is like, well, that's not what it's supposed to be doing.
No, you can't catch it if it's like through a wall.
Or I don't know. It could be wall COVID. Right. So Owen, what do you think about this story?
So this is, I've just had this in my mind just for the time being. Like they first reported about not having to self-isolate if it pinged.
Yeah.
And then the government have just then thought about, wait a minute, we might have just scuffed up here. maybe it's probably more reasonable and much more responsible to say self-isolate if it still does ping.
Yeah.
So in that sort of time, it's just like they've made the mistake and they've just tried to correct it. They just tried to correct it as quickly as possible. So that it's like, don't listen to what we said at the beginning. We made a mistake. This is what you need to do. This is it. Because it's much later on.
Yeah.
So in that case, then the BBC would be like, okay, so what we reported at the first beginning, okay, we're not supposed, we can take that down, give the fresh information up. So, but I'm not sure if these 2 pages are still up currently right now, are they?
I don't know. So
Because
this is my friend on Facebook, they basically screen grabbed it off their phone.
Yeah.
I'd have to actually check.
Would still be up, but I'm not.
Yeah, the one on the right should still be up, but the one on the left should have been taken down.
Yeah. I'm having a look now.
All right, thanks.
Richard is our reporter. So Lawrence, I'm going to bring Lawrence in because Lawrence, he says he blames the BBC, says it's controlled by external sources. Now, Lawrence doesn't trust the BBC at all.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
So this would probably be this is the same BBC that led a story that the Queen had died for 9 minutes, then pulled it as it was practiced wrong. Cannot trust the BBC anymore. So I mean, the difficulty I've got with that, Lawrence, is I'll ask the young people anyway. Because me and you obviously been around a bit, and we know how to access alternative news sources. But I mean, guys, do you have any alternative news sources, or do you just is the BBC your go-to, or whatever, or do you just wait until you're told something?
I normally just wait until I'm told. I think BBC, it's on regularly every night, and that's what my parents watch and things like that. So I think BBC is the one that I go to the most, and then I'll just sort of wait for other people to tell me stuff as well. But I would say it's the most I sort of go to and things like that.
Yeah. What about you, Owen?
I don't usually look at the news or even BBC News. The only thing I look on BBC is the BBC weather, which I've been doing recently more often. But yeah, I'm just like the same as Charlotte. I'll just wait until I'm being told something, either from my parents or friends, about key information, and then if some of it doesn't sound right, then I would go to the news just to double check it. But most of the time, it's just usually being told by friends and family.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Richard, do you want to comment, or are you just still looking for the article?
I'm still looking for the article, but I can comment. I normally just wait till I get told. With the news, I have paid a little attention now because I've been watching the news round. Yeah. So I have gotten some information.
I miss news round. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. Okay.
Blue Peter.
Blue Peter. Do you know what? I never got a Blue Peter badge. Ever. Yeah. Maybe I should have worked on that one. So Lawrence has got Adam, if you're still watching, I've just got your message. Yeah, I mean, mate, if you want to comment, please do, because this is just my youth-led channel, so I've just seen your message. So Lawrence has asked, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but he's had, as youngsters, would you ever pick up the Week, so the newspaper, or do you all do it through electronic sources now?
Electronic sources now.
Electronically, yeah. It's electronic. I'm sorry, but that was like,
or nothing.
That was I think that was more of a question for him to say. He already knew the answer, but he just wanted to, he may have just wanted to say it.
Yeah, just to double check. I mean, I should say as well. I mean, because Lawrence obviously doesn't trust the BBC, but you guys are waiting till you're told something. I mean, I say this to everyone: always read around the story. So, for example,
if I read something that didn't sound about right, I would definitely
Yeah.
I mean, always read around the story. It's kind of. I mean, right, Lawrence. I mean, the weird thing is, like, so you say, is there a fear of biased sources online? Well, yeah, every source generally has a bias. I mean, in this country, every single newspaper, bar maybe a quarter of them, is right wing. That's a fact. It's right. It may be middle right, but it's right wing. Yes, Richard, what are you going to say?
Just want to mention, the crucial for ping people to self-isolate, number 10, is on BBC News. The other one isn't.
Right, cool. So the other one The other one has been taken down. That's fine. Yeah.
That's
so yeah.
proving my point. Good.
Yeah. So so all the newspapers, like the physical ones, like are all right wing to a degree. There's very few that are actually left wing. So when people talk about biased, everything is already biased. To be honest, it's like, you know, I mean, I read, obviously, because I'm a loony lefty, I read The Guardian, you know, so I'll read articles from The Guardian because it's a left-leaning newspaper, because it just suit my point of view. But when people I know on Facebook and stuff share stuff that's from right-wing leaning sources, I'll read them as well, so I get a balanced view. I won't read the Daily Mail though. I you know what, I just pull it though. So Lawrence has just said, I don't read, I just look at cartoons. How did you know? So you look
at the newspaper and you go straight to the cartoon section.
I do all the time. Right, yeah. So the government have also said about this. They've been talking about exempting people from having to have the vaccine, right? Now, they've also now says there will not be a list of critical workers who are exempt from isolation after being in close contact with someone who's being in contact. So they've also said that if you get like pinged, you won't be exempt from isolation, because they were bandying that around. So if a nurse caught COVID, she could still go to work on the ward.
That just makes
and spread around COVID. Because that's a great idea. And they've backtracked on that as well. But there's these arguments about, hello, Casey, how you doing? Thanks for coming on. So there's this talk about not people being free to choose whether to have the vaccine or not. Okay. And I want to get you as young people, your little opinion on that. So should we force people to have the vaccine?
I don't think you should force anyone to do anything. I think is the bottom line. I mean, obviously it would be better, I think, in the long run if everyone was to have it. But I think, you know, it's like anything. I think it's wrong to make somebody do something if they really don't want to.
Yeah. Anyone else want to jump in?
No, I kind of agree with that, because you can't, because we're all human, we all deserve not to be forced about doing something like that. We all have our own free will. That's a good way of putting it. We have our free will to do what we want to do in relation of, again, the law. So they don't have to get the vaccine if they don't want to, or they just don't agree with it yet, or if they think have to wait a little bit longer to see if there's any other substitute. I don't know.
So if I then interrupted there and said, okay, well, I'm going to stop wearing a seatbelt because it's my choice. Want to drive a car? I'm going to ignore all those speeding signs. I'm going to drive as fast as I like.
Something I would say is that I would speak to someone if they, let's say, we're fighting an anti-vaxxer, whatever they're called. Speak to them, tell them what would happen if you don't, tell them what's the best thing to do.
So you mean it, just use the education part to help them out, right? I mean, I'm going to get to everyone's points, other comments in a second, but I do want to point out, I read this thing from this doctor a while ago, and he was dealing with an anti-vaxxer, right? And I mean an extreme anti-vaxxer who thought the vaccine caused autism, and it was a way the government could track them. Okay, right? So the doctor knew that by trying to educate and explain, this person still would not take the vaccine. As is a lot of cases is true with a lot of these people. They still refuse it because it's my opinion. So what he did was he explained that the anti-vax material they had been reading was actually posted on social media by China, right, to make the West stop taking vaccinations so that they would die. And because that conspiracy theory was more wild than the original conspiracy theory, they had the vaccine. So... Yeah, exactly. I just think it's really funny. Right, so just go through some comments. Casey, good, thanks. Just enjoying the sun. Glad you are. My mate Michael, who's in foreign climes, the UK being stupid in general. Good. And Lawrence has suggested we could round them up in a camp, take the jab, or live in a camp, make them wear a badge to mark them out. Who would seriously consider forcing human order as an option nowadays? Does anyone recognise that?
Yeah, can we not do a repeat of World War II situation?
There we go.
Can we not do that?
Yeah,
can we not do that?
Okay.
Yeah, so Lawrence is bringing up a very good point. You know, you can't, as far as I'm concerned, no, you can't force them to do anything they don't want to. Just like, to be honest, if someone wants to drive without a seatbelt, okay, while going 80 down the motorway, okay, if you really want to do that, if a police car catches you, you're going to get fined, you're going to get points, and if you crash, you're dead. So it's just,
or
that's your decision.
Very injured.
Or severely injured, yeah. That is your decision if that's what you want to do. But the difficulty with this is, so if I change the car analogy and said, well, I know drink driving is against the law, but I'm still going to do it. Obviously, I put other people at risk.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this, isn't it? If you don't have the jab, you're putting more people at risk. Like wearing a seatbelt, it's not going to affect.
Yeah, but also the counter argument when people are reticent about taking the vaccine is also true, isn't it? So when they say, well, I don't want the vaccine because I don't know the risks, you have to be fair to them as well. Yeah. So Michael, free will is about one thing, but a civic responsibility is something else.
Yes. I agree with that.
I'm not going to put your post up yet. I need to read it first.
As he reads it. But I just want to quickly point out about the alcohol.
I'll check that out, David. Sorry, I'll check that out later, David. I'm gonna, because this is my youth work thing. I'm gonna keep it a little bit more on point, but I'll definitely check that out. Owen, what are you gonna say? Sorry.
So I was just saying about the alcohol thing about like if they do have the alcohol, it's going to put them at risk. So it's sort of like the difference. If you don't have the alcohol, it's not much of danger. But if you have the alcohol, it puts you at danger. It's a bit vice versa of a comparison compared to the vaccine. Because if you don't have the vaccine, you put people at risk. If you do, it's a bit different. I just wanted to point that out. It didn't seem in my head.
It is. I mean, it's just loads of different analogies because people are definitely on both sides about taking the vaccine and not taking the vaccine. Are throwing all these analogies out, just like we're saying, we've got two different things from the BBC there on all these different news channels and newspapers, whatever. And to be honest, you know what? You just got to make up your own mind. You just got to read around the point. You know that I don't want to use this Facebook trope. Do your own research. When people just put it in the comments because they can't back up their argument. Do your own research, but you do have to do a bit of that. So yeah, I mean, what are we feeling? Because Owen and Charlotte, I'm double vaccinated at the moment because of work and private life. Owen and Charlotte, you've both had your first jab. Now, Richard, you haven't had any. Do you want to have the vaccine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, as far as you're concerned, is it a good thing to do?
In my opinion, yes. It's just it's keeping my family safe from getting it. Yeah. Yes, most of my family has one vaccine, or my mum and dad actually just got their second vaccines today.
Have they actually?
Yeah, because of what's been going on with my dad.
Yeah, okay.
That makes sense.
So they just got their second vaccine. So I might as well just keep it safe.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of because David is an old mate of mine I used to work with, and I know he's basically anti the vaccine at the moment, which is fine. David, if you do want to comment, please no swearing. I've already done that. I got told off by the young people as a youth worker. I love it. I love getting told off by you lot.
If you put it on YouTube, make sure you put a beep in there. Make sure you edit it.
I'll try and put a beep in. Yeah. So, but there's all this information out there. But I do feel that sometimes the information can be too much. Does anyone ever feel like that?
Yeah, I feel like there can be sometimes literally too much information about things where you can't make up your mind. I think sometimes, some people really push certain information that they believe in, and try to push you into certain things, which is not helpful at all if you're trying to make up your own mind.
Yeah. I mean, also, sorry, I missed Michael's say. So taking Owen's point one stage further, at least the UK has the option. I'm in a place where it has not been made available to us yet.
Oh,
so here's another point, right? So the Olympics in Japan, yeah. I mean, I love the Paralympics. I don't really watch the normal Olympics. I watch the Paralympics because I think it's very empowering and it makes me happy to see people perform so well after such adversity, right? And also, there's a TV program that I watch called The Last Leg that actually they usually cover it, and I just really like the guys. Now, do people excited about the Olympics here? Are we going to watch some of it? I mean, Richard, if there's any darts, you'll watch it, won't you?
I'll probably watch the diving and swimming with my mum and my family. But besides that, not really.
Yeah,
I might watch the circuit of cycling and maybe the trampolining because I actually do know one of the head coach of the Olympic team because they coached me once.
Yeah.
Right.
Charlotte, are you going to watch the Olympics?
Yeah, I'll probably watch like the gymnastics and like the 100 meters and stuff like that. Yeah, I do like watching bits of it.
Yeah. Loads of people commenting now. I love it. So the issue with Tokyo and Japan is only about 20% of their population is actually vaccinated. And they've had in loads of places there's been a rise in cases and stuff. Like I think in the UK we've had 96 deaths yesterday linked with COVID. I don't really know the stats for Japan, but obviously this is why they're kind of going, well, no, we don't want really anybody come here other than the competitors, which I completely understand.
There's been protests,
and I just feel like I completely understand why they've done it, but it's like it makes me a bit sad. As well, because I know there's cases of some competitors just not being able to go and actually compete. So I'm just going to go through some of these comments and we'll just answer them, right? So David, his question is, if we don't have the ability to cope with the virus that kills 1%, what state is healthcare in across the Western world? Okay, so right. David. So yes, you are right. It has killed so the virus that kills 1%. Richard, do you want to field it?
No, I was just going to say, I just got the COVID stats up for Japan. Around 3,000 COVID cases a day and around 10 to 15 deaths.
Yeah, okay. So actually, considering, because Japan is actually quite overpopulated as an island, they live in quite close proximity, but they do have a completely different cleanliness ethic, I would argue, to us. Like, everything's
they have a healthcare
system
as well.
Yes, they do. Yeah. So David's question, I mean, the difficulty of the argument is, you're right. What state is our healthcare in? But we've seen many mutations of this virus, some that have been more transmissible, and that is the issue. If we have something that mutates and transmits more easily and makes, has a higher death rate, then that I think was the worry. As far as I know, I mean, how much do people know about the actual death rate? I mean, 1% is. I think 1%. It's something like 1.2. I think. I don't quote me on that.
1.2 or
1.2% of the population who have caught it have died. Like worldwide.
And worldwide.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Could you just put his question back on the screen quickly?
Yeah, sure. So my question is, if we don't have the ability to cope with the virus that kills 1%, what state is healthcare in across the Western world?
Okay. Unorganized, maybe. When it comes to like a massive virus that is global and every country has to deal with it, it might be a little bit unorganized of communication of how to work together, because we've all had to work independently for our own vaccines in some description. Obviously now I'm not sure if the UK still gets imported vaccines from other countries, but I know that we do produce a vaccine here in the UK as well. But the communication between countries is probably not as very much good as it could be. I'm not sure if that's making a lot of sense.
Did you think they should sort of work together more as like just country with country rather than just independently? Because then you probably get like a better distribution of vaccines to all countries.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm going for. Thank you.
So sorry, I was going to go through. So Georgia, hey guys, how you doing this heat? And have you done a thing now? We've got freedom. Well, that's what we're discussing right now, Georgia. So Michael, Bangkok is on the third lockdown, down on curfew. Education is key. The UK should realise how fortunate it is, and I'm concerned watching Freedom Day. Is it freedom or is it temporary reprieve? I mean, I've got to point out, right? I'll get to your other points in a bit, Lawrence and Georgia. That I mean, I've been out. And when you go into a shop, people are still wearing a mask. I mean,
I don't think that much has changed. I think people are still really
I mean, do you know what?
The rates increasing and everything.
I mean, I know, like David, you've been like very much. I know your position on it, anyway, and a few people about mask wearing. But the thing is, right, when people state like, well, the COVID is up. Flu deaths are down, other things are down. Well, doesn't that just mean that telling everyone to wash their hands and wear a mask actually improves general cleanliness anyway? So, mate, that's just the answer. Don't invade people's personal space. Don't breathe on them. Really close.
No, you don't want to
wash your hands.
You don't want to just walk up to someone and just go like.
You know what, mate? Honestly, Owen, you'd be surprised in some places, like I mean, some pubs, some nightclubs, or how close people get because they can't hear anything. They're really drunk.
I went to one once, and I literally couldn't move at all. Like,
get
out.
See, I've never been to a nightclub, so I wouldn't know that feeling. I've been to a pub once or twice, but
I'm not going to be rushing back to a nightclub anytime soon. I have to say,
never been, and probably from what everyone was saying, definitely not.
And Georgia is worrying that we have to be told to wash our hands. So, right, so I'm gonna. And David, your mask is keeping work till September. Yeah, I mean, I think generally, I mean, I'm still wearing my mask because everyone on here knows my girlfriend's personal situation. She's been having treatment, so it's just safe for me to wear.
And I think I've got used to wearing mine as well. It's not not a problem.
16 months wearing a mask.
Yeah. I mean, because to be honest, because I'm a youth worker now with you guys, and you're so young. I mean, 16 months, you'll forget all about it. To be honest, in a few years. Right. So, I want to put this up from Lawrence. It's a bit of a controversial point, but I think it's worth discussing. And then Georgia, I'll get to your other bits in a second. All right. So the world is overcrowded. Like a virus in our body, things die. As a human race, we lose 1 to 2% of the population, and the earth becomes cleaner. Is that a bad thing? So there's a big argument. I mean, we showed some of the videos of nature coming back. Like I don't know if anyone saw the goats coming down from the mountains into the Welsh village because there's no people. Right, I think when I went kayaking on Friday, there was more insects than I'd seen the year before because obviously everyone's been out. There's been a population boom, so it's a heavy point. What do we think?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard because I think it's probably overcrowded, but innocent people are dying, like children are dying and things like that. And it's not. I don't think anyone deserves to die just to reduce the population and just cleanse it because I just don't think I mean we are probably overpopulated as a planet and things like that, but I think at the same time it's not right to kind of just pick and choose people to die and just be like, oh well, it's fine. Basically.
Anyone else want to dive in? I know it's a big point.
That is a very big question. Lawrence always gives very good questions. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I mean, if you don't want to comment, you don't have to. It's fine.
No, you don't have to. But this is why we got so many films like The Purge or The Hunger Games, for instance. You got those type of games because they simulate of that sort of situation of overcrowdedness. But obviously, they're films. This is reality. But I have to say, I do agree with what Charlotte did say about young people are still dying from this. It's not right for them who have just have only a short period of time on this planet to then die when there's other people.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right for anyone to die, like any old person, just because they live longer. But at the same time, when babies are dying and things like that, I just
the virus isn't. The virus. I'm trying to think of the right word. The word in my head is natural selection. but I know that's not the right word. It's more that it's random selection of people.
I mean, you say that, but I mean, I just want to point out, because Lawrence has just put this up, is like, you know, he has lost family due to the virus, and he's saying the larger picture is important. I mean, the thing is about COVID is it kind of is natural selection, because it's targeting people that have pre-existing conditions. Well, not targeting, but it's being more detrimental to people with pre-existing conditions. So
the people who can't survive it are not are dying. It's kind of natural selection in a way.
Yeah,
but then,
I've lost a friend of the family to it. My girlfriend, we lost her dad before the pandemic, but we actually kind of wondered, you know, was it actually?
I think as well, if there's something that we can do as like a population and things, and if there's something that we can do to help people, like a vaccine and things like that, I don't see why we shouldn't do it. Just, you know, if we're just doing it to reduce the population, that doesn't make a lot of sense ethically.
Yeah,
you know, you've got to take into consideration people's feelings, you know, people's loved ones are dying and things like that. So yeah, it's tricky, but I think if there's something we can do, I think like wearing face masks and doing all that, we should do it, because if someone can survive, then
yeah, it's a bit bad. Richard, do you want to comment, or do you want
to I just something just went someone just fell in the house that I don't know where, so I just completely lost what.
Okay, that's fine. No worries.
It literally just like, what just happened?
the door open.
Yeah, my mum came in.
Yeah, mum came in. Yeah.
We had a feature of Richard's mum today.
Right, so we've got time to go through a few more of these comments before we just touch on the last bit before we finish, because this has been really intense. So talk about overcrowding. Georgia has put distribution of resources as the problem. The population isn't so much of a issue in her opinion, and then this will trigger Lawrence and that #socialism. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's partly true. There is overpopulation, but there is redistribution of resources that is a real issue. There's, as we're going to talk about, Bezos and Branson, and you know, extremely rich people, basically, which I think is pretty bad. But also, Georgia said the effects of long COVID are crippling people, though, so it's still very, very serious. I mean, yeah, there's been an idea, like I think in the UK, a million people might be suffering from long COVID, and it's still, we don't know the long-term effects of it at all, because this is a new virus. I mean, that's another thing that these so 1%. You know, what David said, 1% may die, but the effect of long COVID, we don't understand. Yeah. So, Adam, you messaged, the virus does not discriminate. It does what it needs for survival and has no hang-ups about who it takes with you. Yeah, I mean, it affects everybody. But I think our point we were making earlier, Adam, was existing conditions, obviously, it can cause more likely more harm.
If you've got heart problems and breathing problems.
And then Lawrence, chaos theory at its worst, maybe. I agree. Morally, kids shouldn't be victims, but we have to learn more about how we interact, live, and thrive. And then Lawrence's reply to socialism: why should I be punished for working hard and getting richer? I think we're talking more about the extreme rich there, Lawrence, because
not personal ones.
Not the personal ones. And then we talk right. So I'm going to come in almost to the end, and talk about it. So I just want to touch on Branson and Bezos, right? Blasting to the moon, blast them into the moon, as Georgia says. So these are two extremely rich people. Like
some of the richest people on the world.
Well, Bezos, is Bezos now the richest? I can't remember. Is now the richest? Billions and billions. But I did make this point earlier. Like, so Branson was the first to be the first richest person to be blasted into space. But last year he applied to the government for furlough pay, like £500 million in furlough pay, because he said he couldn't afford it.
What is he doing?
And then he blasts himself into space. I mean, I do think, Lawrence, I completely get your point about, if you've worked hard for your money, right? Why should you be beholden to anyone else? But as long as you pay your taxes, I don't really care. As long as you pay your taxes. But Amazon don't pay their taxes. Richard Branson, like Virgin, I doubt they pay all their taxes. Like, we've got massive issues.
Yeah, and there's people as well that needed furlough money that didn't get them. And
and he got all of it.
Hungry, or they had to leave their house and things like that. When he obviously has enough money to survive, and he has the cheek to ask for it.
So, and also when we talk about how extremely rich these people are, right? This is important. How extremely rich they are, because Lawrence, I'm not disparaging, working hard and getting money, but with the average wage in this country meant to be 35 grand, guarantee that's not like everyone's earning 35 grand, because loads of people earn under that. So person who paid $28 million to go to space cancels trip because they're too busy that day.
What are they doing?
What a waste. What? 128 million.
I mean, just 28 million. But that's how little this amount of money means to these people, right? These people have extreme wealth.
I can't wrap my head around it. I feel like they're just, money means nothing to them. And I suppose if you don't have to worry about money, that wouldn't mean a lot to you.
It means nothing.
I cannot think of a single circumstance where I would just spend 28 million on something and then just think, it's all right. Even if I was the richest person ever, I don't think I'd ever do that.
Yeah. So Lawrence has said, yay, Branson, sod off Bezos. But he's also said, can't trust a bald man. You should have just left Bezos out there and just said you can't trust a bald man, because then you can't trust me. But I think, and then at that news that I just made, very, very nearly threw the phone at that piece of news.
David, honestly, I'm kind of glad my phone's still on the table.
Yeah, David, I'm not going to show you point because we're on site, but I'll message you afterwards, mate. We'll have a chat, see if it's of interest to the young people if they want to talk about it. So, but then George has obviously said, working class people need to stop thinking that we want their £30,000 a year. Instead, I want Branson's billions, which he couldn't spend rationally in 100 lifetimes. I think because that's the thing. So when George says #socialism, obviously Lawrence got triggered and he's like, "Oh, I'm not having that." But we're not talking about extreme socialism. When we say socialism, what I mainly think about is social capitalism, similar to Scandinavia, where basically they make people pay their blooming taxes. No, you can't have an offshore account. No, you have to pay your taxes.
It's really ironic, isn't it, that the richest people in the world don't have to pay them, and then the people that can't afford them have to pay them.
Yeah,
it just makes no sense.
It's just for me. That's what it is.
That's not how it should work. It should be no. It should be I know normal people, the general population, pay taxes. Obviously, they can only pay as much as they can for their taxes. But whoever, more richer people who are earning much more money than the normal average earning people, they pay a little bit more because that's how it works.
Yeah,
but they get away with it.
Yeah. Tax evasion, or as I call, beep, 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 beep. There we go.
You should beat
myself. So Lawrence has come up. Those getting rich on the backs of others is his issue. I work alongside my security staff. I don't take off the top of their wages. Good. That's how it should be. But these extreme rich people, across the world, not just in the UK. They get rich off the back of the workers. That's, for me, I'm sounding more like a communist now. Off the back of the workers. But it's true. That's what happens. Right. So we've really gone hell for leather on that subject. So
yeah.
It's the heat getting to everyone. I want to thank everyone who came on for a comment. Although Georgia did say, you're absolutely right, James. And Georgia, you work hard, Lawrence. I'm not coming for your money, mate. It's the billionaires. It's the billionaires.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, so much for commenting. David, thank you so much, because I haven't spoken to you in ages, mate. He did have, I missed his comment earlier. So when we were talking about illness, and he was like, James, I caught all my cold from the racehorse. No joke. That's where we used to work together. It was a dingy, horrible place. I'm surprised we didn't catch more. Although probably because we worked there, we're probably immune to everything, actually. Right. But anyway, Lawrence, if you youngsters are an example of the future, who cares about things? We're blessed in the UK. Look at him.
Saved himself.
Yeah, he is. Right, so we're going to go through fun things of the week that we want to share. Just to finish off, Richard, what things do you want to share from the week that made you happy?
I have 2 this week. I beat my record for speedrun in Minecraft.
Oh, okay, very geeky. I like it.
It was 28 minutes, 15 seconds. I've now beat it. It's now 23 seconds, 17 seconds.
Wow, okay.
That is good. That is good.
I don't even need to know what you did. It's just, that's a lot faster. I like it. What's the second one?
And for the first time since COVID, I went cinema on Sunday with a friend.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this.
How is it good? Is it good?
It's all right. It's maybe you should. Everyone should see.
Yeah. Okay. Wicked. Owen, what's your happy thing?
I don't exactly have a happy sort of thing at the moment as such, because
anything you're looking forward to? You looking forward to anything?
Well, I am looking forward to Friday because I'm actually going out to the pub to see some of my old H&C course mates.
Ooh.
So I've done my H&D this year. The H&C year is my first year. These are completely different people to who I've worked with this year, so it'll be nice to see them again because most of them have done uni stuff and all that.
Cool. Before I do yours, Charlotte, I'm just going to put up Lawrence. He finally solved a Rubik's Cube. Well done.
Lawrence, tell me how you solved the Rubik's Cube. I've got a Rubik's Cube that I've had since I was about, 6, and I still haven't solved it.
I could do them for you.
Yeah, Richard loves Rubik's Cubes. I remember at youth club.
Did you have a self full?
You brought a few to youth club once, Richard. You had like 3 of them or something, like different shaped ones, like a round one.
Oh, I have more now.
Yeah. And also Lawrence said Space Jam is awful. Well, I kind of. Charlotte, what's your happy thing?
I'm going out for a meal with my friends tonight, which I'm looking forward to.
Where are you going?
Just to
Anywhere
Wagamama,
nice?
I think.
Just Wagamama. What, in Rushden Lakes?
Yeah. I only live about 5 minutes away from there,
so I had Wagamamas there on Friday. It was my first Wagamamas in over 2 years, and yeah, it was really good. I do like Wagamamas actually.
I like it as well.
It was
never
nice.
been.
You've never been?
Never been.
Well, Owen, we should definitely organise that.
Yes,
I don't think
organised when we used to go out to Mackey's and all that, and when we went to Five Guys. What was it, Five Guys? No, that little restaurant underneath Western Fable.
I
forgot.
Jenny's.
Jenny's, that was it.
Jenny's, where we went.
Yeah, where we went with a few other people.
Yeah, that was cool.
Miss those people. Anyway.
Oh, well, I hope you have a good time, Charlotte. David, I'll get back to you on that crypto stuff. And then Lawrence has said, "What is Wagamama?" Oh, Lawrence.
I don't know.
Lawrence. It's
yummy.
It's a yummy chain of stuff. Yeah, I would really like it. Right, so my kind of happy thing is I'm back after my little holiday. I've got more of a tan than I had before, and I have found something to share that kind of I got reminded of earlier when I was thinking, I don't have a video to share. It's not a video; it's a few pictures. So this is basically some pictures of animals, and then they've been given. And they've been given different names. I just belong to lots of weird groups. So we have a danger noodle. Okay, I quite like that. I think the next one is one of my favourites.
Okay.
But squirrel.
This is a really nice one. A forest corgi. Oh,
yeah, that's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Dear. Grumpy McSnapface.
That's a normal turtle, not turtle, tortoise.
And an alligator is an American murder log.
All I'm gonna say is, I'm all right with that because I get crocodiles and alligators confused all the time.
Fine. I think everyone does. Now, obviously, this is one to pull the heartstrings. Sad eyes, Von Gimme food.
Forever hopeful.
Right, let's look a couple more, and then Trash Panda. So Lawrence actually already named it. Trash Panda is the raccoon.
It should be Trash Panda.
Stab hose. That's a weird one. Deddy McLongtime.
What's that one?
I don't get that one.
Yeah.
I don't get that one.
Yeah, because it's been dead a long time. It's a fossil.
Oh,
So it's
right.
Deddy
Right.
McLongtime.
Right.
Hop Pocket.
That's a good one.
Land manatee, okay, because you get sea cows. Booble snoots. Beeble snoots. Like that. Right, that's enough of that. Right. So thank you so much, everyone that commented and watched and liked. Those people that have sent me some other messages, I'll message you back in a sec. All right. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming on. Richard, Owen, Charlotte, thank you so much for rejoining us. We'll be back.
You're very welcome.
Next week. There may be some changes after next week to Free to Talk TV, but I still need to work them out.
Ooh, okay.
It's just because of the summer holidays and other stuff going on.
Yeah,
but yeah, but everyone say. Yeah, it's all a bit mad. But everyone say goodbye to the stream. Bye,
bye guys.